name's Steve Thompson, Regional Director for the Fish and Wildlife Service, and I have the areas of Klamath and California and Nevada. And my first day on the job, first week on the job, was in 2001 to come up to the Palm Boat hearing at the fairgrounds. And then some of my first major, impressive, mind-bending, from my perspective, events were being actually at the head gates in 2001 and watching family members come over the gates, over the well, if you will, and turn the water back on. So I don't want to ever see that again. I don't want to ever participate in it again. I don't want that to ever happen to anybody on the planet again. If you think about a little bit, we've had a series of crises in 2001, just a short time that I've been on board since 2001. 2002, a large fish die-off, and 2006, a crisis with the fishing seasons off the coast from Oregon to San Francisco. The first thing I'd like to do is sort of introduce what I would call the federal family and the state organizations, agencies that are here today. So if all the folks in the Fish and Wildlife Service, NOAA Fisheries, anybody else that's here from the federal family, please stand up for a second so you get a chance to meet them and visit with them. Let me get this joke out of the way before you guys say it, but this is your group that's from the government. We're here to help you. So I learned that in Texas. And what I learned about that is that we truly are your public servants. This is your agreement. This is your package. We are here to figure out ways to try to implement that to make it work better than the current situations we're in. I'm also going to apologize, and I'm going to be leaving in a couple hours here. I've got to get back home to Sacramento. And I really want you to focus on the local folks that are delegated from all of us, the top of leadership, to work out problems locally. So all of those that are here, please talk to them and please get a little better understanding of agreement from your perspective. I'm going to D.C. tomorrow, and I'm going to be meeting with the secretaries of Interior and all the staff of Interior. Be meeting with the appropriate assistant secretaries and Secretary of Agriculture, Department of Justice, OMB, senators and congressmen all next week. And they're all going to be asking me what you think and what you feel about this document. Please give us feedback on it. Find ways we can improve it, learn from it. We've done our very best as a group to come up with what we think are long-term functional solutions. Please help us improve it and find other functional solutions. Just a while back, I was up here in the fall with our entire region office leadership, and I see several folks that spoke to us at that particular meeting. All the regional directors, our director, Dale Hall, and all of our assistant regional directors. And I got the opportunity to go on a goose hunt with Ron Cole, and he stuck me in some sort of sleeping bag, which had some stuff all over top of it, laying in the middle of a leaseland farm field. And as the sun came up, I could see the fog, I could see Mount Shasta, and I could hear the geese and the ducks and the swans all talking back and forth. I've known this for a long time, but that particular morning it came to me what a beautiful and spectacular place that you all live in. It is a remarkable place. There's no place else like this on this planet. If we look, in my job, I have California, I have Nevada, and the Klamath Basin. If you look across the settlements and the arrangements that I get coming across my desk, they fall into two categories. There's one where the folks that live on the river, the folks that live in this basin, come together and try to solve problems, and they come up with agreements or settlements. The other major rivers have court-directed, judge-directed water flows. I hope that the Klamath Basin gets out of the court-directed, biological opinion-directed decisions on water and management. Those are never very good. They almost never work. When you all set up what you need in the basin and we implement that, that's a much better solution. For instance, in the Colorado River, they have a multi-species habitat conservation plan. That is working much better than it was just 2 or 3 years ago. On the Truckee River in Nevada, they just signed an EIS on the operating criteria for the Truckee. It involves endangered species long-term planning. My relatives are from the Newlands Project. The reason I got into wildlife was working on my uncle's ranch in Fallon, Nevada. And for some reason, putting hay up and getting $1 an hour and occasionally a cold Coors beer was pretty exciting to me. I enjoyed working on the ranch, and I wanted to do that. That's why I got into wildlife. My uncle was born and raised in his house in Fallon, Nevada. That irrigation system, the Newlands Project, designed at the turn of one century by Teddy Roosevelt, now finds itself saddled with new and different environmental regulations. The Endangered Species Act, water quality issues, all those things are coming on to the good, fine people of Fallon, Nevada. They have learned through programs similar to what we're describing how to adjust to that and how to keep sustainable agriculture and keep wildlife as an important part of your basin. So the Colorado River, Truckee River, Newlands Project, to me are just 3 quick examples of how we can do a better job by working together. Indian water rights, tribal trust, public trust, water quality, water quantity, ESA, that's this century. That's the things we have to figure out how to deal with together. They are not going away, folks. They're going to be here for us for a long time. Now, Paul talked a little bit about politics. I was here for the Pombo hearings as a backup witness. A lot of folks don't like the Endangered Species Act. I can understand that. It causes a tremendous amount of pain to this basin in particular, those who want to witness from the side. Those things are real. If we look at the current politics, the current politicians, Nancy Pelosi is the Speaker of the House, Senator Reid on the Senate side. We don't know what the new president will be. We have an opportunity now to make changes and move forward with agreements that you all design and tell us to deliver. If you look at rivers run by the judges, the Columbia River, well, right now I got to go to a congressional hearing and testify on Tuesday about the Delta. The Delta smelt. Judge Ranger runs the water and controls the water that's delivered to 25 million people in Southern California. These things never work very well when judges take different opinions and try to come out with a ruling or a decree for how to run the water. So my question to all of us, I guess, is for the next 75 years, do you influence and control your own destiny, or do you let others from the outside, me being one, of the basin control your destiny through the courts, through Congress, and through the states? This agreement is something that the people are coming to you that live in the basin. This is your agreement. This is not something that you will have to, this is something you will have to fight for and you're going to have to support. It'll be very difficult to get this approved at the state level, at the federal level, at any level. Even within your communities, you're going to have to read it, hopefully improve it, and it's a long, hard fight to get this to be something reality. All of us at this table and many, many others have worked very hard to get out of the biological-driven world. We don't want to be running things by endangered species and their lowest common, the rarest species. We want the National Wildlife Refuge in here. We're celebrating the 100th birthday of the Lower Klamath National Wildlife Refuge. We've been here for 100 years. We're going to be here. We think we're a very important part of your community, and we know that many of you think that also. But I want these to be the best national wildlife refuges in the world. We want sustainable agricultural communities. We want sustainable tribal communities. We'd like to see them improve the conditions within the Klamath River watershed as a whole, from the mountains to the sea. I see a lot of agreements that come across my desk on those different rivers, and all I'm going to ask you to do is please read it, please understand it, and please offer us up functional solutions. They're very difficult to come up with. If you don't like something in it, please tell us how we can improve it and be wiser and better with your improvement. I want to tell you, too, something a little bit about the Klamath Water Users negotiation folks, Greg and Paul and many others that are in the room. You've had the best representation of any of the agreements I've ever participated in. These guys are smart, they're tough, and they've done a very good job, I think, trying to come to a wiser place for all of us. I also have a much better understanding of the folks in the basin, all the basin clear from the ocean all the way to the mountains. I want to thank you for that opportunity to get that. I want to get to the synergy of working together and helping each other instead of the old school way, which is mostly a creation of enemies. So synergy of working together versus enemies is something we've got to get to. Now, as I head back to D.C. tomorrow, I'm going to need to understand from all of you where you stand. I hope you take this agreement and help us understand it, and I hope that it helps us get to a better place into the future, looking for functional solutions.